It is freezing cold outside right now, and I have been thinking about a big, warm, steaming bowl of minestrone soup. So that's exactly what I'm going to make, and I'm going to share it with you. Minestrone soup is a classic Italian soup. It can be made so many different ways. I'm going to have carrots and onions and green beans and corn in mine with little ditalini pasta and ground beef. It's a tomato-based soup with onions and carrots, and it is so full of flavor. And I'm going to make my minestrone soup in the crock pot. It's super easy. Pour in all your ingredients, let it just cook away for the day, and when you're ready to eat, your minestrone soup is going to be waiting for you. So welcome to my kitchen. My name is Renee and I love to cook, and today I'm making minestrone soup, which is a classic Italian soup, a very hearty version of a vegetable soup with beans and pasta added. My minestrone soup is so easy to make. I'm going to put all the ingredients in the crock pot and it's just going to cook away. And later tonight when I'm ready for dinner, my soup is ready for me. So to make my minestrone soup, I'm going to use ground beef, green beans, corn, carrots, an onion, lots of Italian herbs and spices, tomato products, and the secret is beef bouillon. That is what gives it such a great depth of flavor, and it makes it taste like you've been slaving away at your stovetop all day long when really you haven't. Your stuff's just been in the crock pot. So to my crock pot, I'm going to add a 16-ounce can of tomato sauce and a 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes, along with a small can of tomato paste, and add my seasonings. Now I just eyeball my seasonings. I'm using basil, garlic powder, oregano, black pepper, and kosher salt. I'm going to drop in 4 beef bouillon cubes and give this a good mix. Kind of break up my tomato paste in there. So after all my ingredients are in the crock pot, now I want to take 1 pound of ground beef, and I'm just going to use my fingers and kind of lightly crumble the ground beef into the tomato mixture and add in 6 cups of water. Now I know this seems like a lot of water, but when we add the pasta later into this dish, the pasta is really going to use up a lot of that water and the soup is going to be perfect, I promise. So add 6 cups of water. Give this a good stir. So the minestrone soup is going to cook in the crock pot on high heat for a total of 8 hours. So kind of think about it this way. In the beginning, we put everything in the crock pot except for the vegetables. Halfway through the cooking process, which is 4 hours in, we're going to add the vegetables, and then 1 hour before it's time to eat, or 7 hours into the cooking process, we're going to add our pasta. 8 hours later, we have the most delicious soup. It is hearty, it is so full of flavor, it's going to fill your belly, it's going to put a smile on your face, and it is so good when it is freezing cold outside like it is here today. So my minestrone soup has been in my crock pot on high heat. Now I'm going to add my vegetables. And the reason I wait a little bit to add the vegetables is because the green beans and the corn are vegetables from a can. Told you this was super simple, and really they don't take that long to cook. I am going to add fresh carrots and onions, and they don't take that long to cook either. So if you add your vegetables at the very beginning with all your other ingredients, I find that the vegetables just get a little bit too cooked and soft. So I wait about halfway through the cooking process and then I add those 4 vegetables. You want to dice a very small yellow onion and 2 carrots. Make sure that you dice your onion and your carrots into very small bite-sized pieces. You don't want them too big. So I'm going to use 1 can of whole green beans. I am going to drain the juice from the green beans, and the green beans are pretty good size. So I'm going to kind of chop those up into bite-sized pieces and add that into your soup. Our carrots, onions, and our diced green beans. And then I'm using the corn from a very small petite size can, and again I'm going to drain the juice. Give your soup a really good stir, put the lid on your crock pot, set it on high, and let it simmer away. You can honestly tailor minestrone soup to your liking. If you wanted to add lima beans or white beans, you wanted peas in your soup, you could totally do so. These are just the vegetables that we like and prefer, but you can totally tailor it to what you and your family like. Pollux is hanging out in the kitchen with me, keeps going over and smelling the soup. Right, buddy? We're ready for soup. This soup recipe does make about 6 or 7 really big helpings of soup, so it's going to make a pretty good portion. My husband and I cannot eat all that, but it's kind of difficult to size down the soup recipe because once you've opened your cans of tomato products and vegetables, you don't want to throw them out. So go on and make the whole helping of soup, and then I'll show you at the end of this video how to portion it out and freeze it. And then you always have delicious soup in your freezer, which is so easy to heat up for a cold winter day. Now it's time for the final step. My soup has been in the crock pot cooking on high heat for 7 hours, and it's time to add our pasta. You don't want to add your pasta any earlier than an hour to 45 minutes before you're going to eat, because the pasta it really does puff up when you put it in the soup and it'll just get too soggy. I prefer to use ditalini. Ditalini is little teeny pastas because it is going to get bigger when it soaks up the liquid from the soup, and you don't want a pasta that's going to be too big to put on your spoon. This is soup after all. So ditalini is my pasta of choice. So this is the point in the cooking process where if you want to freeze some of your soup, this is what you have to do. Before you add your pasta to the soup, you want to taste test your soup. If it needs salt or pepper or seasonings, do it now. The soup is fully cooked. The ground beef is fully cooked, so it's fine to taste test. Before you add your pasta to the soup, you want to get out whatever soup that you want and put it in little self-serve containers so that you can put it in your freezer. You don't want to freeze it after you've added your pasta, because when you go to warm it up, the pasta just gets a little bit yucky and soggy, and it's just not good. So I like to get my soup out and freeze it before I add the pasta. And like I said earlier, this does make a lot of soup. Or 6 or 7 bowls of soup, or even 8 bowls of soup. I'm actually going to give some to my mom. This is going to be her lunch for tomorrow, but it does make a lot of soup. So if you want to freeze it, now's the time to get your soup out and do so. Okay, everybody taste tested and ready to go, and we're gonna add our pasta. I'm gonna add a half a cup of pasta to my soup, stir it in really good, and let it continue to cook for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Just give it a test. When the pasta is the doneness that you like it, your soup is ready to serve. Definitely thickened up. Oh, look at that. See how thick it is? I'm so excited to enjoy my minestrone soup. I'm going to sprinkle it with some freshly grated Parmesan cheese and cook a big piece of crusty garlic bread and dig right in. Doesn't this soup look so delicious? So if you enjoyed this cooking video, I have so many more recipes. I will link some of them right here, as well as list them in the description box below this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy your minestrone soup. See you later.